Okay, so in today's video, we're going to just have a chat about some advice for when you're structuring your survey. And to do that, we're going to return back to one of the earlier parts of our course, which was our booklet 3, when we were considering primary research processes. So we know that a process is anything that elicits research, but what we really want to do is have a look at the steps involved in actually creating primary research. So the first thing you need to do is actually consider the appropriateness of the survey. Is it going to give you the sorts of information that you want? And you need to think about that in terms of surveys being typically personal opinion, possibly professional opinion. Don't mind my dog in the background. But for the most part, the data is very subjective, so you need to consider whether it's actually subjective data that you're after. This could be used really well to substantiate some of the more professional opinions that you're getting, but it's probably going to be most appropriate for topics that ask for up-to-date, current, personal opinions. Should marijuana be decriminalised in Australia? We need social opinions for that because it's a social topic. If you're going to survey your friends and family about the best vaccine for COVID-19, it's not going to be as useful because they're not experts and you actually require much more expert information. The next thing to consider is the purpose of your process. So if you're thinking about trying to get the opinions of doctors and nurses and circus performers and children all in the same survey, you'll probably hit a significant snag because they are all very different audiences and the purpose for you engaging with each of them is quite different as well. So instead, you might need to design 2 surveys with different intentions. So let's say I was looking at my favorite research project topic, which is underwater knitting and whether it should be included in the Olympics. And I'd like to do a survey of the athletes who are the ones who are going to participate, but I'd also like to do a survey of people who are looking at it from a spectator's perspective. So 2 very different types of questions. The next thing I need to consider is the specific features of that research process. So I know with a survey there are different types of questions that I want to use. I need to think about people's attention spans and I need to think about how I'm going to actually get that out to the public because we know from sampling there will be a bias and we want to try to reduce that bias as much as possible. Then we actually need to design it and draft it. And it is really important that you get consultation and feedback. Sometimes we word questions thinking that we have put all the possible options in without realizing that our multiple choice questions are actually going to skew our data. The options you give people to respond to are going to change the data that you get. So you must be really conscious of what sorts of data you're going to encourage your audience to respond with. The next thing you need to consider is your ethics and how you go about this ethically. So one of the big important things is at the start of the survey, you need to have some information that will describe the intention and the purpose of the survey, who is actually you're collecting the data, what they're going to do with it, whether it's anonymous, etc. And then also, making sure that you get any appropriate permissions to distribute the survey through your various networks. You then have to think about how you distribute it and how you contact people. So for a survey in particular, putting it out on your social media channels, emailing it out to groups of emails, all of that is really good, but all of them come with an inherent bias and inherent skew. So if I use my school email, I email all of the year 11s, that's great because I'm going to get lots of different perspectives. But in my school context, they're all female, they're all of a particular socioeconomic group, they're all working within one particular school. It's very likely that they're going to have similar sorts of beliefs within a spectrum. So watch out for this.